imagine somebody would jump off of a building. He just doesn't have patience, doesn't feel like using the stairs, doesn't feel like using the elevator, and says, you know what, I'm taking the plunge. Not because, he wants to self-harm, but just because he's in a rush. So 100 floors, jumps off the top, lands on his feet, and walks away. What would be on the cover of every newspaper the next day? Miracle! Man jumps off 100-story building, lands on his feet, walks away, no injuries. Now the next day, someone else reads that article, and he says, 1 second. That's wild. I got to try that. I want to be famous too. And the next person jumps off, lands on his feet also, goes, wow, look at this. Miracle number 2, 2 people, and then lots of people start doing it. In the beginning, they're like, what's going on? This is unbelievable. That was an absolute miracle. The first time it happened. Second time, people are like, 1 second. By the 50th, 60th, 70th, 100th person who's doing it, the scientists already said, no, it must be there's the gravitational pull of the moon on the earth has changed, and now it's just things are different. It's not. Now imagine our children grow up in that world. Imagine now it's a generation or 2 later, our children grow up in a world where if, only people who have like nothing to do take elevators and stairs, right? Everybody else, you just hop out the window or, just jump off the building. That's what you do. You don't, it's just silly, unless you're really like lazy, okay, take the elevator, but otherwise, you get a move on it. It would be normal. You'd be walking on the streets and people would be just jumping and that would just be it. It'd be just jumping off, wherever level they're on, and you wouldn't have to tell your kids, don't jump there, it's dangerous, get down from there. You wouldn't have to say that anymore, right? That would be considered nature. It's nature, it's not a miracle. So how could it be that for us, it's a miracle, and for them, it's nature? Which one is it? Says Rav Dessler, the only difference between nature and miracles is frequency. That's the only difference. Really, Batsem, everything is a miracle. However, when we become so used to something, we eventually call it nature. And Rav Moshe Feinstein says like this. Although that's the world we live in, where when we're used to things, we call it nature, and once in a while we see something that's abnormal, we call that a miracle, Yaakov Avinu didn't differentiate. He saw them all as miracles. He saw everything as miracles. Why? Because he understood that everything's from Hashem. The fact that a fruit grows from a tree is just Hashem doing that miracle. We got used to it. But everything that happens in the world comes from Hashem. This was Hashem's doing. Is it any more difficult for Hashem to make a fruit grow out of wood than fruit to grow out of a metal pole? For Hashem, it's no different. For us, we can't even fathom. Metal, wood it can do. Metal it can't do. Different chemical makeup. Okay, right. Because that's what we know. But for Hashem, any difference? No difference. Just this is the world He put us in, so this is what we got used to. For Yaakov Avinu, it was all the same. Doing one versus another, equal to in his body. Everything's from Hashem. The same Hashem who created the whole universe, sure, He can do anything. There was nothing shocking. There were no miracles from Yaakov's perspective, or everything was miracles, however you want to call it. But there's no in between. Just everything from Hashem. Which is why when it says, Vayishach Yaakov Malachim, he sent angels. The Medrash says, was it angels? Was it men? The answer is, maybe it was angels, maybe it was men. But the lesson, says Rav Moshe Feinstein, that we're being taught, is that for Yaakov Avinu, there was no difference. For him, for us, if I would say, I want you to send an angel, like, I wouldn't even know how do you do that? I don't know how do you do that? Just send an angel, let your sister know you're going to be late for dinner. Forget the text message, just send an angel. Like, I don't know how to do that. For Yaakov Avinu, send a person, send an angel, like, Lagabe Hashem, it's all the same. There was no, possible, impossible, whatever Hashem wants to happen. So if it was actually angels, it's telling us that for Yaakov Avinu, there was nothing miraculous about that. That's just Hashem could do anything. And if it was men, and Yaakov was sending actual men, then again, for Yaakov Avinu, there's no difference between that and angels. Because Yaakov Avinu sending a man is just as miraculous for Hashem as it is sending an angel.